Jones, good morning. Well, now I'm going to ask you to do something. Can you please close your eyes for 2 minutes and just take yourself back to Monday, where we started? Health policy and systems research. Health systems, health policy, economic analysis, systems thinking, realist evaluation. You have been going through all these different kinds of lenses. They are already there in your mind, flooded with concepts and thoughts. Maybe a bit puzzled, confused, but that's fine. That's the growth. Now, I want you to park all these lenses in one compartment of your brain and get ready for another exciting lens that's called as ethnographic approach. What did you know about ethnography? Any guesses? What is ethnography? Something to do with photography? Any idea? Murlanini, you had put your hand up. Can you tell me what did you know about ethnography? It is? Okay. Anything else? Lovely. Study of the people, what the way they live. The researcher goes and stays in a part of a community which he wants to study. Any more? Study of culture. Own natural setting. Okay. Study of behavior. Lovely. Anything else? And who are the people like? Who are these people who use these kind of, no, but who are these people who do this kind of ethnographic work? Anthropologist. What is that? I haven't heard the word anthropology. Like, what is that? Study of human behavior. Wow. I was looking for that word behavior. We all behave in certain ways, isn't it? We have been behaving in so different ways in last 5 days. So anthropology is a systematic study of human beings, and ethnography is a method or methodology that has been adopted to understand the behavior of the people. Well, did anybody had experience of doing any kind of an ethnographic work ever before? Or have adopted this kind of methodology in their studies? So you could see that there is a kind of an hospital ethnography and there is a kind of a field-based ethnography. So lovely, I am not going to speak much now. So as I said, like, this session is a part of a teamwork. Dr. Nakiran, who is an associate professor at Institute of Public Health, Gandhinagar, is going to come now and lead us through the first session of the day.
Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Nakiran. I'm a student of anthropology, and I've been teaching qualitative research for some time, and my PhD work was an attempt at ethnography. I've been doing some more applied research with qualitative research and little bit on ethnography, because doing applied research in ethnography is a challenge. I teach social sciences in health. I also teach research methods, and I organize also 3-day workshops on qualitative research. I think some of your acquaintances have come from different institutes. I've had people coming from institutes attending the workshop which we organize at IIPH Gandhinagar. and today this lecture is on ethnography. There is a lot of overlap on between realist evaluation, systems thinking, and ethnography. I may not say they are one and the same, but at least I will say there is not much of contradictions between them. Okay. My only request is, I think these approaches are only to guide you. They should not block your thoughts to be creative in your research. Go across the boundaries, have your own strength, take from the approaches coming in front of you, and make a cocktail which suits your research problem. Okay. So, I think if you end up wearing blinkers with the approach, then that's the end of the research. I think that is my, my starting point. And in terms of ethnography, there is nothing much to teach. Whatever some people said, what is ethnography? That is what is ethnography. Somebody said living in their own environment. Okay, so actually ethnography, to learn what is ethnography, is there is nothing more than that. Okay, but how the values behind that, the principles behind that, which are actually not hard and fast rules, unlike other research. Here it is more of principles to follow, values. Okay, so this is what we have to learn. So that is in terms of the hard facts of what is ethnography. I think all of you already know. Okay, and I feel ethnography also provides a kind of a platform to understand society, understand human behavior, understand the complexity of human behavior, and on this platform I feel this different approach sits. Okay, so for example, what I see, I mean, I'm zero on realist evaluation. So I feel it uses possibly even ethnographic way of looking at society, culture, health systems, doctors, patients, and applies a form of a nuanced way of looking at a specific problem or specific kinds of problems, etc. Okay, so I feel they somehow come and fit into the whole way of looking at the social reality. I think the ultimate thing is how to understand what is social reality and why it is complex. Okay, I think I am going to deal largely on that. So I am seeing my presentation. There are two presentations, and the first one has 3 sections. Where one I am talking about 2 words. One is human behavior, second is meaning. Okay, so human behavior and meaning. What constitutes meaning? Second part of it, I want to unpack the word qualitative. Okay, and third, I am going to speak about the method called, or the approach called ethnography. Okay, for me, everything is very important. They are one and the same. I mean, or very strongly interrelated. Anthropology is a discipline. Historically, a discipline which came out of studying others. Okay, is a kind of inquisitive study of others. The anthropology was born of the colonial maritime people, the Western societies trying to understand the others. Okay, quote unquote others, savagery, barbarism. That's the kind of historical birth of anthropology. Well, the sociology was a birth of study of within, study of after the French Revolution, the complexity, etc. So anthropology is a discipline. Ethnography is an approach, methodology used by traditionally anthropologists, but I say it is not no more a preserve of anthropology. It has been used widely across all disciplines, including even science, natural science disciplines. I would say even it's possible to use in study of primates. I mean, when I say I say ethnographic approach, I'm not saying ethnography. Okay, is used in demography, used in economics, okay, used in public health, used in medicine. Okay, so ethnography is, therefore the anthropology is a discipline, ethnography is a study approach. Okay, if you say what is anthropology, it's a total study of man. Okay, if you look at the sub-disciplines of anthropology, I think I should allow a student of anthropology to speak more. Sub-disciplines of anthropology is a very wide area of thing. It talks from social anthropology, where I talk about culture, the society practices, even to the end of human genetics, fingerprints, blood group types, paleoanthropology, evolution of human beings, archaeological anthropology, study of history through artifacts, linguistic anthropology. So it's a kind of wide disciplines. Therefore, it's called as total study of man. Okay, from one end of cultural to biological or physical. Okay. So this, having said that, it means that people can use different kinds of method. For example, archaeological anthropology may not use so much of ethnography. Okay, it will more of looking at artifacts, okay, tracing back artifacts, etc. Okay, so therefore, ethnography is a kind of method used to study cultures largely. Okay, so there's ethnography is a part of anthropological discipline, but they are not coterminous. So I want to deconstruct, break out, sort of rip apart all your research problems, and I want to say that all reduces finally to human behavior. Okay, so can we have some 2-3 examples? What is the research? 2-3 examples of your research. I think somebody was doing on stewardship. Somebody was doing on decentralization. Any other examples of studies? What's your studies on? Service utilization. Okay.
On attitude of health workers.
Attitude of health workers. Anybody? Integration of leprosy service into general services. So, absenteeism. Okay. So, health system, public health is very much of studying society, studying people, studying human behavior. Okay. So I want to see how to understand what is human behavior, what constitutes human behavior. Okay. When I say human behavior, I mean the human social reality. Okay. So I have 3 components. One is studying human behavior, meaning of the word qualitative, and ethnography. Okay. So what constitutes human behavior? What is human behavior? What constitutes human behavior? Can give example of human behavior. How people act. Okay. How people interact with each other. Okay. Then. Okay, so we have lots of examples. A few minutes before Solomon asked you to change your position, you are sitting in certain groups. Okay, that's the behavior. But why did you choose to sit in a particular place? Random. Huh? Familiarity, acquainted. Okay. So what all things can configure human behavior? What all things can configure human behavior? Environment, relationships, comfort level, past experience, institutions,
in that sense, but institutions where they come from, so
affiliation, values, very good, regulation, commonalities. So basically, talking about choices, a lot of choices. Okay. So I want to say that lots of human decisions part of behavior. Human decision is behavior. Is human decision part of public health or health system research? Okay. So decision making made by patients, made by a clinician, made by a public health specialist, by a policy maker, all are human behavior. Okay. Human behavior is neither completely random nor completely structured. Okay. If it is completely random, you will use your biostatistics and you can come out with your random normal models, etc., and study that. Okay. It is neither completely structured. Okay. Structured means you can use the laws of physics and study that. Not based on fact, not based on truth, not based on scientific knowledge. Okay. Do you have what are the different? Do you have different forms of knowledge? What are the different forms of knowledge? Any other forms of knowledge other than scientific knowledge? Common sense. Okay, then acquired experience. Okay,
The education system, the knowledge that is sort of taught to you that
okay, okay. Social values. What is social values?
We have to behave in a certain way.
Is it part of knowledge?
Yeah, it has been imparted in our mind.
It's part of collective knowledge. Okay, so we have knowledge system which is beyond scientific knowledge, morals, values, norms, etc. Okay, which is called social knowledge, morals. Okay, which are outside what's quote unquote scientific knowledge. Okay, appreciation of music, appreciation of say art is aesthetic knowledge, theological knowledge. Okay. Okay, let us think like some of the decisions you made recently, okay, or in your life, okay, whom to get married, wanted to get married, those of you married, those having children, how many children they wanted to have, okay, where they, so you think back on decisions, are there any decisions which are made on the basis of fact, truth and scientific knowledge? Government of India decided to invest crores of rupees on universal UID, what's called universal identification. Okay, was there a randomized control trial on that? Is it useful or not? So a lot of decisions of our life are based on values and morals, or called social values, not based on fact, truth, and scientific knowledge. Okay, so they're not based on pure reason, but also what's called practical reasons. Okay, and when I say this behavior, this includes behavior of doctors, behavior of nurses, behavior of patients, behavior of planners, behavior of politicians. So let's look at all these words one by one. Okay, so often our decisions are based on good or bad. Okay, the dress we wear, okay, how much money we spend, what food we have, despite all our knowledge, where we have, all are based on good and bad. Most often, I'll say at least, not based on fact, truth, and scientific knowledge. Okay, so that is the simplicity of human behavior. Okay, so derived from morals, derived from values, derived from habits, derived from traditions, opinions, ethics, ideology. So I don't say that they are not changing. Okay, I don't say these are all going to remain forever. Okay, for example, if you think things are changing quite a bit. Okay, what I'm saying is their behavior is not constituted based on a rational decision making process. Okay, this is precisely that example I'm going to tell you. I bought 4 laptops in last 2 years. Each laptop cost 55,000 rupees. Okay, but I was hesitating to buy a dining table for 4 years or 6 years. Who configures that laptop is more good? So who influences you to buy a cell phone? This story is about a small Hindi article came in one paper in a description of village, some nondescript village in UP or Madhya Pradesh, and the Tulsi Patel is a professor in sociology. She is describing about this newspaper article somebody wrote. So this is a village, nondescript. There are no roads, no electricity. People use electricity comes on off and on, or people use this UPS. No proper health systems. Agriculture is there. कुछ काम है, कुछ हो जाता है. That is the kind of life. है, कुछ हो जाता है. Okay, no roads, no electricity. Schools are not so great. Okay, but every household has a TV. Every household has. People have mobile phones. Okay, dish TV is there. So how this behavior is happening. So it is so I want to go one step further, like who constitutes this kind of behavior. So I want issues of ideology. Okay, so we have how many years this movie ran? This Didi, what is Dil Wale Dulhania? How many years? 20 years. They transformed the whole marriage market, the whole country. Okay, so every marriage is now based on most. Maybe I'm exaggerating for the sake of exaggerating. Okay, so human behavior. Ultimately, I want to come back to human behavior. Okay, gets constituted by ideology. Things are not beyond our rational decision making. Okay, so ideology. Let me take an example of ideology called patriarchy. Okay, so patriarchy is a kind of ideology. It infuses certain kind of behavior in culture and sort of structures and behavior. Okay, so human behavior is caught up in this kind of this thing. So a lot of things which might be justified by traditions, I mean, you might question in the form of scientific rationalities, but that is how the society is governed. Okay, so for example, if a woman is not able to come to health systems, okay, the reason she is having for not coming to health system could be because of the poor quality of health systems. Possible that she never came to health system, but somebody told her about it. It's possible that it is a kind of perception is built of a devalued imagery of a public health systems. Okay, it's possible because of a patriarchal value where she has to take permission. She is not able to make decision on spending of money, or her health problems are not important, etc. So human behavior, decisions, actions gets configured by these things. Okay, opinions, ethics, ideology, impressions, conscience, agency, will, beliefs, choices, aesthetics, emotions, emotions. Okay, so we were talking about yesterday about taking treatment in the private hospitals. Okay, now it's becoming a kind of a value that people with money have to go to certain kinds of hospital. They can't go to all the kind of hospitals. Up to Malik, you can't go to this hospital. Okay, status. You should get a single room. You should get an AC room. Should be TV. Should be there. Okay, so how do this kind of things gets configured? Okay, therefore, this is what is important to understand. What goes behind this human behavior? What configures human behavior? Okay, emotions, desire, guilt, etc. Okay, and human behavior is social. Human behavior is social. When I say human behavior is social, behavior has a meaning. A behavior has a meaning. A behavior is a symbol. Behavior is a symbol. It connotes a meaning. Okay, why somebody should buy a 40,000 cell phone, 40,000 rupees cell phone? It's a behavior. Why? Cell phone nowadays has everything in it except refrigerator. It has everything. Okay, why should somebody buy a 40,000 rupee cell phone? Of course, one is functionalities, but is it only the functionality is the reason for going for a expensive phone? Status. It connotes. Okay, so every human behavior is fraught with symbols and believe on symbolisms. Okay, and human behavior is understood by the symbols. Okay, human behavior is understood by symbols, and this behavior effuses the symbols. Okay, I'll give classic imageries we have of hospitals. There may be a movie, Amitabh Bachchan movie. I'm just giving example. Mostly it is true. Okay, and he is a dashing hero, action hero, etc. Okay, but somebody is giving a delivery or somebody is unwell. Okay, then Amitabh Bachchan will come stand outside a hospital. There will be closed door. There will be small window inside, and there will be a doctor with a white coat, and he will be skinny and nondescript person. Will not have any character, but Amitabh Bachchan has to wait for this doctor to come out, and doctor may be going left and right. Then you will say, oh, she is fine. Okay, so this is the kind of symbols we produce around human behavior, artifacts we carry with us, etc. Okay, So this is actually a fact. Okay, so we communicate with language. Language is a collection of symbols. Okay, table is a symbol, bottle is a symbol, name is a symbol. Okay, and normally we assume that we are able to communicate normally. Okay, that what I say you understand that. Okay, but most often this is not the case. Language is a very limited capacity we have to communicate. Okay, it happens only in Bollywood movies where hero gets 45 minutes of a lecture. Okay, and after that, even he has committed a rape, he gets condoned. Okay, all gets suspended into silence, everybody listens, and people get confused. But in reality, that kind of capacity of words is not there. Okay, so what we speak, the words we convey has very little meaning than what is hidden. Okay. And the meaning is constituted by this kind of interaction. Okay, I mean, why I am saying this is, a lot of methods to great extent depend on what people say. A lot of methods depend to great extent what people say, but what people say is only half truth or sometimes not even the truth. Okay, especially if it becomes very sensitive issues. Okay, other day somebody was making a presentation on condom use among commercial sex workers. Okay, how do you ask them, do you use condoms? People say yes. Do you wash your hands before taking food? People will say yes. Okay, so asking, that is, the interview based methods have huge amount of limitations, huge amount of compromises. So when I say human behavior is social, human behavior connotes symbols, and what I behave, what I say something, what I do something, it's a kind of symbol which I communicate, and based on that you communicate back. Okay. Suppose in a public health hospital a doctor is sitting not smiling, then patient is going to respond accordingly. Okay. So our behavior is interpretative. Our behavior is interpretative. Okay. And this goes as a chain of interpretations, and therefore meaning gets constituted by this kind of things. Behavior gets influenced by perceptions and imagery. Perceptions and imagery. Imagery of your man, imagery of your girl. Okay, we have imageries. We have imageries. Problem with imagery is that it sort of precipitates behavior. Okay, for example, we have, how many of you have gone to, other than those people serving in government medical hospitals, have gone to public hospitals for treatments? So you have a kind of imagery in your mind. Okay, what public health hospital looks like, though we might have not gone. And I have an anecdote in my UNICEF days. One of the ICDS supervisor, nutrition block level supervisor, he was asked whether his son or child goes to Anganwadi centers. He replied, "My son is not a beggar. My son is not a beggar." Okay, so that is the kind of imagery. So imagery of an Anganwadi center is where it is meant for poor. People stand in queues. People come, quote unquote, dirty. So these are the kind of imageries we kind of have. Is it logic? Is it logic? Some of them could be experience, past experience. Once a woman went, she was given a bad treatment, but it need not be based on experience also. On the other hand, we also know the quality of private hospitals also not great, but we have an imagery as if private hospitals are clean, neat, etc. So that is, and the final decision making may get strongly influenced by the imageries we have. Okay, so imagery of heaven and beautiful things, marriage, as well as imagery of negative things. Okay, so imagery also has a huge thing of people be making decision. I will just give a small exercise to you. Okay, it takes only 30 seconds for you to finish the exercise. Okay, just take a paper, individual. It's not an exercise. You can take any paper. Back side of a paper will do. Okay, I will give you just 30 seconds. I will tell you to draw something, but you should draw the first impression which comes in your mind. You should draw the first impression which comes in your mind. Okay, I am going to say a word. Ready? Ready with the paper and pencil? Okay. So draw the first impression of a tree. Tree. Okay, how many of the trees resemble this? Okay, those others also first impression must have resembled this, but you must have done it for little more nuanced version. Okay, so most often we think tree like this, but if you go out and see, I mean, there are more number of trees which are not like this than like this. Okay, why? What is this? What has happened here? You have been taught. Okay, so if you say when I say Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, always think Gandhi old man. You never think Gandhi was young. Okay, when you say Shivaji, Marathi Shivaji, you always say Shivaji with beard, with a sword. Why? These are all imageries. These are all imageries. So what I am trying to say is, reality. See, the reality is a stream of. It's a stream. Reality is a continuous stream of sensation. Reality is a continuous stream of sensation. And as a human being, we have very limited capacity to understand this streamation. Okay, that what we do is we economize our human mind, economize thinking. Okay, so we put on the stream of reality certain categories or constructs. Certain categories or constructs. Okay, for example, 24 hours of a day is not only morning, afternoon, evening. It's every second it is an incremental change. Okay, if I ask men how many colors he knows, he'll have 4 colors. A girl, if you ask, she'll have 400 colors. She can tell you. Okay, so a stream of reality, we put on a constructs based on our intentions, based on our intention, like what we want to observe, what we want to see. Okay, among a cacophonic situation, a mother will be able to hear a crying baby's, a cry of a baby. Okay, so for example, another classical example people say is among the Eskimos, for example, they might know how to differentiate maybe some 14 different types or 15 different types of snowfall. Okay, and if you take Oxford English Dictionary, every page will have some description of a drink, how to get drunk, or a glass to drink, whatever, because their culture requires that kind of organizing the reality. Okay, a woman requires to identify those colors. Man, half color, most men are colorblind to great color, more number of colors. Okay, so there is a continuous sensation which is called the ontological reality, and we impose certain categories on that. Okay, and these categories are coming from our cultures, our values, morals, our upbringing, our Bollywood, our television, everything puts on these constructs. So what is good, what is bad, what is preferred, what is not preferred, what is fear, what is not fear. I don't know whose idea was it to put this camera here. I got so scared. So, but what configures this human behavior? So this kind of symbols which comes from the landscape. So when I say human behavior, it's not just human behavior. The landscape, the stethoscope, the white coat, all are fraught with symbols. Okay, and the symbols have a deliberate attempt to convey something, or even if it's not deliberate attempt to convey something, people may understood in particular manner. Okay, so we go to, for example, a lot of students go to CHCs, for a visit, we see all patients, poor patients coming, etc. They leave the chappal outside the entire hospital, they roam around without chappal. Okay, we will be coming with the shoes on and go inside. So how these are all ways of creating boundaries, conveying symbols, conveying powers, power structures, differences, and human behavior sort of processes these things and operates. Okay, so coming back to this this thing of sensation. So what we do is we put on the stream of sensation certain categories. Okay. So this is called what's called in a textbook language is called a first order constructs. Okay, the construct which I have when I interact with you as a common man. Okay, so understand like, acha, he didn't smile at me, therefore I have done something wrong. Okay, he didn't smile at me, I will not smile at him. So the interaction goes on like this. Okay. So this things of how do we interact with people is called first order constructs. Okay, it could happen through values, morals, habits, etc. And the whole thing of me interacting with him and this constructs, etc. is, suppose it is bounded in a what's called life world, kind of world. Okay, and somebody as a third person from outside looks at. Okay, and third person happens to be the researcher. Okay, so researcher looks at, can we understand what are these constructs which governs his behavior. Unfortunately, the researcher is also a human being and he is also part of the whole meaning constituting process. So he is also subjected to this process of constructs, and that we call second order constructs. Okay. But this again is a limit. I'm sure there is no single tool to understand human behavior. So this is only one form of looking at human behavior. Okay. So what are these human constructs? What are these constructs using which human beings make sense of life, make sense of complex systems, make sense of fear, make sense of power, make sense of need, make sense of exclusion. Okay. And there of course there are different levels. Sometimes you feel poverty is a very good very way of understanding human behavior. Sometimes you feel power, autonomy, feminist kind of looking at as a way of better understanding of situation. Sometimes they fail. Okay, a feminist way of looking at may not give you the answer. A poverty based analysis may not give you answers. Okay, I wish we have one system which can understand complex behavior. No, there is no one single grand theory which can explain all the complexities of human behavior. Okay, sometimes we are extremely rational, calculative. Sometimes we splurge money on going to dinner and spending some 4,000 rupees. But end of the day we keep also but accounting. So behaviors are very, very complex. So no single theory, no single approach, no single ideology can explain. Okay, if Marx is going to say that we are going to understand human society like this, it's wrong. If a feminist is going to say something, no, it's not. So therefore, idea is I'm tell you 2-3 important points. One is human behavior. Human behavior. When I say human behavior, it is the social reality I'm talking. Okay, and it uses symbols, and meaning is understood by how these symbols are understood. Language has a limited capacity to convey. Okay, we convey a lot of things beyond what we convey. Okay, I'll recommend a movie. It's called The Invention of Lying. Invention of lying. Okay, most often we don't tell the truth. Good morning. It must be pouring and somebody is not well in hospital. Say good morning. Okay. Or you'll say inside a movie hall, you'll ask, you come for a watching movie. So our communication is much more than these words. Okay, so the words are just put there for a certain purpose. Okay, therefore language often has limitation. Okay, and suppose in a house you go and ask how many people are living in this household. Okay, in my village I studied. Why are you asking? So answer will depend on why I am asking. Okay. Suppose if it is for ration card, I am living here, my son is living here, my grandson is living here, but same village, that point of time there is a scheme where free houses were given for Dalits. So if you are asking for giving free house, then I say I am living here, my son who is married is living separately. Okay. So our meaning, our language has very limited faculty to convey, and we convey much more than actual words which convey. Okay. There is a very interesting paragraph, 2-3 pages in a book called 100 Years of Solitude. I am sure many of you must have read. Okay. There is a paragraph where 2-3 pages where people start forgetting. People start forgetting. Okay. They forget that this is the door, this is the house, this is the kitchen, this is the buffalo. Okay. So they get a disease. Everybody gets this disease. So what they start doing is they write, if it's a table, write table, T-A-B-L-E, table, and they put it on the table. If the door means they put a D-O-O-R, they put it on the door. Then buffalo, they keep putting on each of the symbols. The forgetting becomes further deteriorates. They forget the alphabets. So they are not able to understand T-A-B-L-E means table. So they go back to a situation where there is no language, there is no kind of symbols to correspond to the reality. Okay. Imagine we don't have names. So imagine a situation that we don't have names. Name is an artificial thing which is given to all of us. Imagine a society where we don't have names. Okay, I went to during MA days, I went to a tribal community in Tamil Nadu, in Gudalur, Paniyan community. They have only 2 names, 2 or 4 names. Okay, for a girl, this is Chemban, or I think Karpi, Chambar, Karpi, Chemban. If she is fair, this is Chemban. If she is not fair, this is Karpan. So names, these are only names. Okay. So imagine situation. Okay, I will give one more example. If I ask my mother what ice cream she wants, she says I need milk ice cream, because she is a 76-year-old woman. Suppose anybody from Bombay, suppose what ice cream you like?
Honey and almond.
Huh? Honey and almond. From which brand? Baskin Robbins. Anybody on naturals? Naturals. Okay. Okay. And suppose I ask somebody like what time bus comes in a village, it will come evening, abhi aa jayega, abhi, it will come abhi, another 40 minutes. Suppose I ask a Bombay girl, what time you go home? I go at 5:03, 5:14. Why? By local train. Okay, so therefore the reality is so extreme, and human beings input on our constructs, and we think it is symmetrical, beautiful, harmonious, organized, etc. Okay, so we break them into colors, we break them into day and night. Okay, so we economize into certain categories, and we understand the reality like this. Okay, so this is a sense of complexity behind how we understand reality, understand human behavior. So when I say understand, not as a researcher, as a fellow person in society, and therefore accordingly respond. Okay, I think I'll stop here for